Hello YouTube. Today we're going to talk about working capital and cash flow. Why is it so important for you as a trader, or if you want to live off your dividends or trading or anywhere around the stock market and so on and so forth? You need to have working capital and cash flow, okay? So we're gonna cover up a little bit in this website right here, and then we're gonna discuss it throughout the video. Okay, let's go ahead and start right now. So working capital versus cash flow. I'm sorry. How are they different and how are they related? So what is working capital? A working capital is a term that measures the difference between your company's current assets and its current liabilities. Assets include cash on hand and as well as other financial resources that could be easily liquidated for cash, such as investments, office equipment, and inventory. Current liabilities include your businesses or business. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, guys. It's not my native language, okay? Yeah, okay. Accounts payable, payroll, taxes, and other outstanding expenses. So let's start talking about it right now. A working capital is again assets that you have available now, or you can transform on money, which is like cash on hand or resources that again could be easily liquidated for cash. And if we take this mindset into Forex, for example, or the stock market, or again, you're trying to live off of your dividends or a little bit of each and trying to make a passive income out of it, you have to have a working capital. And it's almost like you need to live ahead of you. What do I mean by living ahead of you? It's almost like this. So say, for example, you have a emergency reserve, right? And you have a monthly spend, your monthly expenses are roughly around $2,000 a month, right? Just for example, it's very personal for each and every one of you. But just for example, you're gonna take the same principles here and apply to your reality. So say for example you spend $2,000 a month worth of expenses like paying your rent, your bills, food, transport, everything, and so on. You need to be living ahead of you. You need to have money for like as in an emergency reserve, for over like 6 months, for example. So you're gonna live off of this, and then Forex or the stock market is gonna generate. You're gonna have enough time for the market to generate more money than what you're actually spending. So then on the long term, you can create a snowball effect. So, for example, let's go ahead and start here. I don't know if you understood it, but I'm gonna try to explain a little easier. So, for example, say you have again. $2,000 off of expenses every month, and we're gonna cover up for 6 months, okay? So right here, just bear with me, guys. A little slow. Oh, messed up. So here is January, okay? Just for example, January, February, March, April, May, and June. So just for example, right? Month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What you need to do to live off of your dividends or live off of Forex, or I don't know, in general, any of these markets in general, is the net worth that you have right now currently and what it's generating is more than what you need to survive. So if you live off $2,000 a month, if you have a monthly expense of $2,000, you need to have a net worth that produces and generates more than $2,000. So that's the first thing. If you don't make this, then you're not really living off of the stocks or Forex or both, or maybe you're compounding with your work wage or whatever. But in total, you need to be making more money than what you're spending. That's basic. Everybody knows about it. Cool. But if you want to live just off of the market, what you need to do is, again, first thing, make more money than what you're spending. And secondly, you need to have at least 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You would need to have at least $12,000 available ahead of you, which you're gonna split in 6 months to create a working capital and a cash flow for you, just so you can live off of this. Okay, you're gonna live off of this money, and then you're gonna allow time for your net worth to generate more money. So then after the 6 months, you're gonna have made more than $12,000. Like say for example, you've made maybe maybe you've made $40,000. It's just an example. Maybe you've made $36,000. So again, what would you do? You would do the same thing. You would get more if you've made, say for example, say if you've generated $36,000, okay, in 6 months, right? And now you're gonna withdraw again $12,000 from the profit that you generated from the market, and then you're gonna end up staying with $24,000. So this is your profit. This is your profit right here. You're gonna reinvest this money into your strategy that you're doing, whether it's forex or stock or both or whatever you're doing. You're gonna reinvest. So again, to create this snowball effect, so you can earn more and more money on the long term and throughout the years. So you're gonna create a margin, and the higher the margin that you create, the bigger the margin, the safer you are. So you don't want to be too tight on margin. That's why I say that you need to have margin. You got to spend way less money than what you're making, and I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy, but in a perfect world, that's what you need to do to create a sustainability system for you, a sustainable system for you to compound and do it for the rest of your life. And that's how you get wealthy and rich. And I mean, that's one of the ways that you can do it. So again, you would have another $12,000 to use throughout the next 6 months. Okay, so throughout the entire year, and then you generated 24,000, and by the end of 6 months, again, you would have 36,000 plus a little bit more from what you've compounded, right? From what you added, from what you reinvested, which is 24,000, and it's gonna give you a little bit more money, maybe 38,000 or 40,000. And now again, after 6 months, again, you've generated 40,000 because you reinvested some of this money. It's just an example, okay? And then you would repeat the process over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, so again, say you've done the same thing. So 40,000 less 12, it's 28,000. So you would have 28,000 here for you available, which is more than in the beginning. So you're living off of the market. You are generating income. You're creating a snowball effect, and you're doing compound interest for the long term for the long term for you to actually create a significant amount of money. So that's how you do it. Okay, so the idea here is for you to live off low, like live below your terms, you know what I'm saying, like live a really humble life and then you allow your network to create a structure, so then you can support your monthly expenses. I don't know if you really understood what I'm trying to say. It's a little complicated for me because again, the language, but I'm trying to be as clean as I can in here. You need to give time for your net worth to create a strong structure that's gonna allow you to live the life that you want to live. So if you wanna spend $10,000 a month, you need to be earning way more than $10,000 a month. A lot of people didn't understand it. They think that if they make $10,000 a month, they can spend $10,000 a month. And yes, they can spend, but that doesn't mean they should spend. You know, it really depends on what you want to do. So you need to be able to do this. And the higher the margin that you create, the safer for you. So for example, if you're generating $10,000 a month and you're only spending 2,000, you have 80% of margin, and you're so much more safe than somebody that's earning 9,000 or $10,000 a month and it's spending 9,500 pounds a month or dollars. You know, you have less margin. It's going to be harder for you to compound. It's going to take you a longer time to create a significant amount of money because of the interest rate and so on and so forth. So you need to create margin. Okay, a lot of people sometimes they go to extreme. I'm not telling you to go to extreme and and not to eat and not to live at the shittiest position that you can, just so you can save up money. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that in the perfect world, that's what you need to create. And another thing that I would like to say, 6 months is just some strategy. You can create a strategy for a whole year. For example, you can literally have $24,000 in here, and then you would create a cash flow for a whole year, and then maybe in a year you've made 100K and you spent $24,000. It's just an example. Again, All the rest of the money you're gonna compound, you're gonna reinvest, and on the next year it's gonna generate you more and more money. That's how it works, and that's the way that you would like to do. So working capital, right? And then the cash flow. Cash flow is easier concept for most business owners to understand since it simply measures how much cash moves in and out of a business during a set period of time. This could be a week, a month, quarter, or even a year. Why is cash flow important? Measuring cash flow helps you determine whether your business is earning more than it is spending during a particular time or vice versa. When you have positive cash flow, which is what we're looking for, you have the financial means to cover all expenses, invest more in the business, and grow your operations. And that's exactly the same thing that you're going to be doing here. This strategy right here is the same strategy that big companies do, but you're going to be doing this with your net worth if you want to live off the stock. So that's literally what you need to do. The game, that's how you play the game. You need to make more money than what you're spending. And it's hard. You have to create a structure. There's a lot of things that are involved during this process, but essentially that's the way that you're gonna create wealth in your life. There's no other way. You have to make more money than what you're spending for the rest of your life. And that's why the famous quote, oh, the rich get richer and the poor gets poorer, because that's literally how it works. It is very unfair. It's very weird. It's just how the system works. It's how capitalism works. And again, we cannot change the system, but we can play the game. And it comes to knowing which side are you gonna pick. Are you gonna pick the first side, or are you gonna pick the second side? And then whichever side that you pick, I mean, it's going to be completely balanced. So it's going to be super positive or super negative. And it's super hard. I know the word's fucking insane. The system blows my mind, but that's how it works. That's how we as a society works, And that's the system that worked for us throughout the humanity. So that's pretty much how it works. When you have a negative cash flow, it means that it means that your spending is eating into your cash reserves. It is unusual for companies to experience a period of negative cash flow, especially for seasonal businesses whose sales fluctuate throughout the year, or new businesses. If you have another type of business, but again, it's pretty much the same thing. However, extended periods of negative cash flow can eventually cause the business to run out of money entirely or run into bankruptcy. In fact, poor cash flow management is linked to 82% of business failure. So again, if you run out of money, you go bankrupt. And the only way to not earn out of money is to make more money for the rest of your life than what you're spending. You could have a negative cash flow for a certain time, but not forever. Because if you do it, sooner or later, you're going to go bankrupt. You're going to lose all of your money, and then all of your time will be gone. So again, that's why it's really important to create a cash flow and working capital for your operations, whether you want to live off of your dividends, and it's all about creating margins. So the bigger the margin, the safer you are. And that's what I would like to talk about in this video. So I hope this video was insightful, was pretty cool. I know I stuttered a little bit. It's a little bit hard for me to explain, but I hope you got some information out of it. Again, this YouTube channel will be focused on investments and stuff and so on for people who wants to live off the market, or earn a extra stream of income, and so on and so forth. So if you like this type of content, please subscribe for more. If you have any suggestion or criticism, let me know right here. I'm trying to give you all the information that I can. And that's pretty much it. Okay, hope you liked the video. Have a good one. Bye guys. See you.